It's Friday, the 2nd of July, a red day in South African politics and South African news, where we are following developments around former President Jacob Zuma's imminent committal to prison. Karyn Maughan is News 24 senior legal reporter who joins me now just to unpack very quickly what exactly is going on. Karyn, Jacob Zuma's legal options, what are they and how do you see it playing out?
Pieter, basically, we understand, we've heard that Jacob Zuma, through his lawyers, has indicated to the State Attorney's Office that he will file an application for a rescission of the Constitutional Court's judgment issued earlier this week that commits orders that he be imprisoned for 15 months for contempt of its court order that he appear before the Zondo inquiry, interstate capture, and answer non-incriminating questions. He will simultaneously bring an application in the Pietermaritzburg High Court for an order staying the implementation of his arrest pending the outcome of that rescission application.
So, Karyn, 2 court applications, one to the Constitutional Court and a simultaneous one to the High Court. Is there legal precedent for this? Have we seen anything like this in our recent legal history, at least?
The only case that resembles this in terms of a rescission actually relates to Jacob Zuma. Justices Besin Kabinde and Chris Jafta brought an application for a rescission of a Constitutional Court decision not to consider to dismiss their attempt to appeal its decision, a decision that basically challenged the way in which the Tlophe tribunal matter was being approached. They had a fundamental issue with the rules and the process that was being employed because of changes to the law. They failed in the High Court, failed in the Supreme Court, brought an application for leave to the appeal to the Constitutional Court, which dismissed it without a hearing. They then brought an application under these particular rules for a rescission of that order, of that ruling, which was dismissed by the Constitutional Court. But certainly nothing on the facts of that case resembles the situation that Zuma is currently in. And certainly it cannot be said a pivotal part of a rescission application, of course, this thing about an order being granted in the absence of someone, that is not a factor at play here. Jacob Zuma was fully aware of what the court was doing. He repeatedly chose not to participate. And so for him to try and advance an argument to the effect that this order was granted in his absence, I'm not sure will be plausible.
Karyn, what's the time frame for this? Do we expect this to happen? Do you expect these applications to be lodged today? And if so, how do you see it playing out over the weekend?
Pieter, they have to be lodged today. Jacob Zuma is expected to hand himself over to the police on Sunday because he was given 5 days in which to hand himself over. As we've broken on News 24, an order for his committal to Durban Westville has been granted by Justice Sissy Kampepe. We understand there's also an equal order for his potential committal to a facility in Johannesburg, which has also been granted by the court. So there really is no wriggle room. He will need to bring that application for a stay of his arrest in the High Court as soon as possible. We may see it being argued as early as Saturday, potentially, but he's on an urgent time frame. There is no wriggle room for him on this, and if he intends to try and stay his arrest, he's going to have to do this as soon as possible.
Karyn, lastly, all things being equal, argument's sake, none of these applications succeed. When do you expect to see him in a prison uniform then?
Well, he has until Sunday to hand himself over. If he does not do so, the police have been ordered by the Constitutional Court to make sure that its order for his imprisonment is acted upon. We know that an order for his committal have been granted. That order will then be utilized by the police if there's no legal barrier towards them doing that and doing so to effect the arrest of Jacob Zuma and to deliver him to either Durban Westville prison or potentially Sun City in Johannesburg. So his back is very much against the wall. This is an 11th hour bid. If it fails, he will be in prison by Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
You say 11th hour, it might be 11th hour and 59 minutes, Karyn. Karyn Maughan, thank you very much for your time. Please follow Karyn's reporting for the rest of the day and the rest of the weekend on News 24.